Parents of bullies, when did you realize your child was a bully, and how did you react? Several answers here are along the lines of one of the things that makes a bully is lack of attention. My parents love me more than life itself, and yet I was still a bully in my elementary years. I couldn't tell you why exactly, other than just saying autism, which is no excuse. My parents did not allow the teachers to use that as an excuse, and made sure I was appropriately punished. And I'm so grateful for that. Anyway, most autistic children have the one thing they obsess over. For me, it was Garfield the cat. Every phone call from the principal, one Garfield thing was taken away, and it broke my parents' hearts, but it worked. Edit. I consulted my mother to see if she had any insight as to the reason. Best guess is lack of regard for other people's feelings. Edit 2. Please stop recommending r/im's origin to me. If I wanted to ruin my childhood, I'd already be subscribed to that subreddit. A bunch of friends and myself were sitting around one day talking about school, and we got to the subject of being bullied. As I sat there listening, I realized that I didn't have a story to tell. This is when I also realized I was a bully. My son was a bully. First grade I started getting noticed from his teacher that he was throwing sand at girls and stabbing people with a pencil. I talked to him, and he had crazy first grade reasons, like she was being mean first. I told him it's not cool and to knock it off. Every teacher meeting I would tell them to let me know, and I'll punish him. Second grade, I meet the teacher. I warn her that I think he's a bully and to watch him. Same shit starts happening, but now he's being mean to specific people, anyone that can't run fast, etc. I'm thinking to myself, I can't watch him all the time. What do I do? At home I start punish him, but it doesn't really do anything. All teacher conferences main agenda is bullying. Third grade, I meet the teacher and warn her we have a bully on our hands. Same crap happens. I'm reading a book on the subject and I read a passage that says, if you call a kid a bully he lives up to the role. Let the experiment begin. From that day I stopped calling him a bully and started saying things like, you're going to help your teacher today, right? You are a good boy. Make me proud by being a helper. Almost night and day. The calls stopped. The next teacher conference, the teacher said how helpful he was. Hesitate the grade now. No bully calls. I make him do volunteer work weekly just in case. He still does crazy crap like attacking kids that are mean to girls, but no bullying. I don't know if I caught it in time or if my kid just needed coaching, but it worked. My sister was a bully. She bullied me and my brother, and also kids in school. My parents ignored it. I think they were a little afraid of her. Not a bully, but I know I got one of my old bullies hard when, on suggestion from one of my cousins to invite said bullies to my birthday party. 7 total. Only one showed, and proceeded to introduce the kid as the shithead who beats me up every day, even called him that in front of his mom. I know at some point the kid's mom had a discussion with my mom. I'll ask if she remembers how it went, and after about 20 minutes they up and left. Never had an issue with him afterwards. Update: talked to mom. She doesn't remember the exact words that were used, but the conversation was basically bully's mom saying I was being rude to my guest and was using foul language I shouldn't use. To which my mom proceeded to tell her all the crap this kid and his little circle of goons did to me. My mom was actually going to pull me aside and show the lady the bruises I had on me from him and the other bullies when she decided to leave. Not my story, but my mom's/friend's mother. A friend of mine became a bully in middle school. My mom and her mom were friends when we were kids in Girl Scouts. We played together, but went our own way more and more when she started to become mean. There was this community event about bullying for Girl Scouts, I think, and my mom went to support the organizer, and because I'd been bullied for years, she wanted to find ways to support me and resolve troop conflicts. This friend's mom went, and my mom saw her. She's since left the troop, and it had been a few years, and was surprised. Asked her if her daughter had been bullied too. She responded, no, my daughter's become a bully and I'm embarrassed. I want to understand why she's doing this and try to teach her how much she's hurting others. My mom was really impressed because this woman, prior to this conversation, was kind but rather aloof, and ignored a lot of the previous young girls picking on each other in Girl Scouts/clubs, passing it off as just normal kid issues. It was almost like she'd finally flicked a switch and realized that her daughter's behavior had been progressively getting worse over the years, and she, as a mom, had just ignored it until it got to a very serious point. I'm not sure what came of it, but from other people who went to high school with her, she apparently became less of a true bully and started to act more kindly. I always wondered how those conversations went. Edit spacing. All I know is that my wife is a teacher, and when she tells parents about their kid being mean, or a bully, or anything bad, they just say shit, like he doesn't do that at home. He's a good boy, you must be lying. Or the other kids are lying. The parents at her school are affluent and can do no wrong. Parents, please listen to your children's teachers. Edit. Wow. Thank you everyone. There have been some great discussions and shared experiences. I can't believe how many responses this comment got. Thank you all. You should know that one of the major forming factors for bullies can be parents paying no attention at all, so the replies you get may be limited by that. Not until he started 5th grade. He was super close to his grandpa, wife's dad, and when he died it destroyed him, and his behavior changed. Few weeks after the funeral, this kid's mom called my wife saying things my kid was saying and doing. Not the school, mind you. We had a parent-teacher conference days before she called. Teacher didn't say a word. We talked to him. Your first reaction is to protect your kid and not accept it, but we can tell by the way he was reacting to the discussion. We arranged a playdate of sorts. We monitor it now. He talks to a therapist too. He's a good kid, just makes terrible decisions. As a father of 4, we've been on the other end of it as well, and usually, if the kid's an asshole, so is one or both of the parents. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree at times. I used to verbally bully a neighborhood kid. I think we were around 7 or 8 years old or so. She was deaf and therefore talked a bit weird. At one point we were being mean towards her, and it got so bad she jumped on her bike to get away from us, and she lost her balance and fell, chafing her chin and palms. She starts crying and at the same time laughing, but also panic and remorse on our side ensued. Not long after I got home, her mother called mine, and my mum was very upset and angry with me. She said she was taking me to the toy store and told me to bring my pocket money and buy this girl a gift as an apology. Also, I had personally go to her house, ring the bell, come in, gift her the present, and say I'm sorry, that it was hurtful what I did, and would never do it again. I remember feeling so bad, I cried harder than she did when she fell off her bike earlier that afternoon. I was so ashamed of myself and horrified that my mum was so mad at me. The girl asked me why I did this to her, and I just could not answer the question. I just wept like a baby on my own mother's lap, mumbling I'm sorry between sobs. For sure my parents taught me a lesson. Bully? Try legitimate psychopath. Stepdaughter, it's an ongoing battle to keep all other children and animals safe. I hardly sleep and I don't sit down. I'm a parent, but of only a 4-year-old. But I was a huge bully in high school, and I'm such an idiot it never even dawned on me until I was like maybe 21 to 22. I did horrible stuff just for laughs. But I made it a priority to personally apologize to everyone formally and in person since then. It's one of my highest priorities as a father to ensure my son embraces everyone as a friend when he gets older. Not a parent yet, but I took a dip into bullying for a bit. For the most part, I was the one everyone picked on, for no real reason other than I behaved differently than pretty much everyone else. I was near the bottom of the totem pole, but they considered one lower than me. A rather plump kid by the name of Matt. I saw the other kids bullying him and making fun of him. I was feeling bitter that day and said something about him when his back was turned. The popular kids loved it. For a week or two, I continued seeking this praise. The praise of being an asshole. I don't remember the exact turning point, but one day I reflected upon myself. I thought, what am I doing? Eventually, I started seeking amends with him. He was very forgiving once I apologized, and we even became friends for the next few years. We ended up going to different high schools, but we even ran into each other when I went to a choir contest his school was hosting. We talked for hours. I'm glad I stopped when I did, because at the end of the day, an oversized belly is worlds better than an oversized ego any day. TLDR, was a bully to a kid to win approval, but changed attitudes and became friends with him instead. My parents thought I was a bully. I bit a kid in preschool cause he had a huge brown freckle on his arm. I'm talking 1.5 inch, 38mm, diameter large. Parents took me to the kid's house to apologize and help the other parents know why I did it. Literally told them I thought it was a brownie and I literally thought it was. So I wasn't truly a bully, but more of a complete moron. But for a few days 2 sets of parents believed I was the Antichrist at 4 years old.